Welcome to the deep dive. And this time we're taking on, well, a pretty huge topic, the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a massive one.
I mean, listeners requested it, and buckle up because we're talking almost 60 years of boldly going, well, everywhere.
That's right, where no one has gone before, am I right? And not just TV, movies, books, you name it.
Seriously. It's
Yeah.
kind of mind-blowing, right? You've got like 11 TV series, almost
Yeah.
1,000 episodes if you add them all up.
Don't forget a whole fleet of films, too.
All right. Plus all the merchandise, I mean, enough to make a Ferengi jealous.
Haha, definitely.
So, where do we even begin with a deep dive like this? Any starting point for the uninitiated?
Oh, you got to start with the visionary, right? Gene Roddenberry, the man who dreamt it all up.
Okay, so Roddenberry, the creator, he had this vision, what is that, like Wagon Train to the Stars or something?
Exactly. That was the initial concept, classic frontier adventure, but in space,
So cowboys and aliens, basically.
Well, there's a bit more to it than that, actually.
Oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
well,
See, Roddenberry, he secretly modeled it on Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels.
wait, Gulliver's Travels. What, like the tiny people and giants?
Not exactly. More the idea of each episode being this suspenseful adventure, but also a morality tale.
Ah, I see. So it's not just spaceships shooting at each other. There's a deeper meaning.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it resonates with so many people. It's got layers.
That makes sense. I mean, it's stuck around for so long. There's got to be more to it than just action, right?
Absolutely. Think about the original series back in the 60s.
Yeah, the classic one, right, with Kirk and Spock.
Yeah, that one, well, one of the first multiracial casts on U.S. television. Super bold for the time.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah, it was making a statement, not just telling stories.
Wow. So they were pushing boundaries even back then.
Big time.
Hello.
And that's something that continues through all the different Star Trek series.
So it's always been about more than just, sci-fi.
Right. They use science fiction to, examine ourselves, all these big questions.
Like what kinds of questions?
Well, war and peace, social justice, the impact of technology, all that.
Huh. I guess I never thought of it that way, but it makes sense.
And they always do it with this optimistic lens, like humanity can overcome its problems.
Yeah, that's kind of refreshing. A lot of sci-fi is pretty dystopian these days.
Exactly. Star Trek is about hope, this idea that we can create a better future.
I like that.
It's inspiring, right? Makes you think about what kind of future we want to build, not just in space, but here on Earth.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see the appeal now. It's more than just a fun space adventure.
It's about pushing boundaries, asking tough questions, but always believing in humanity's potential,
Yeah, I get it now. It's about more than just the spaceships and phasers.
Exactly. It's about ideas, about using our imagination to envision a better tomorrow.
That's powerful stuff. It makes a lot more sense why it's so popular. But how much Star Trek is out there? I mean, how do we even start to get a sense of the scale of it?
Well, like you said, 11 different series, right? And those are just the TV shows.
And each with their own flavor.
Oh, yeah. The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise.
Oh, right. And the newer ones, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, and like you said, those are just the shows.
Exactly. Plus 13 feature films, and then there's all the books, comics, games. I mean, it's a whole universe unto itself, really.
Wow. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, you could spend a lifetime exploring this franchise and still not see everything.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But let's try. Okay, so we have this huge volume of content spanning decades, and it's still evolving, right?
It is. It's amazing.
But where did it all begin? How do we go from that initial wagon train idea to, this whole sprawling universe?
Well, let's go back to the beginning, shall we?
Let's do it. Back to the origins of Star Trek.
It all starts with the original series, and, well, it wasn't the instant success you might think.
Really? The show that started it all, it wasn't a hit right away.
Nope, not at all. In fact, it was almost canceled after its second season.
Wait, hold on. The show that sparked this whole phenomenon almost got the axe. How is that even possible?
Well, the ratings weren't great, and the network, they were ready to pull the plug.
Oh, wow. So what happened? How did it survive?
Well, that's where the fans come in. They did something pretty extraordinary.
The Trekkies, they saved the day. I love this already.
You got it. They launched this massive letter writing campaign. I mean, flooded the network with pleas to keep Star Trek alive.
Oh, wow. So they fought for it.
They did. And against all odds, it worked. NBC renewed the show for a third season.
Wow. That's incredible. That's people power right there.
It really is. The fans, they made their voices heard, and the network listened.
That's amazing. So they got their third season, but was it smooth sailing from there?
Not exactly.
Oh, what happened?
Well, the network, they moved it to a worse time slot and slashed the budget.
Oh, no, they didn't really believe in it, huh?
It was clear they didn't fully understand what they had on their hands.
That's rough. So what did Roddenberry think about all this?
Well, he was pretty disheartened by the lack of support. He put his heart and soul into the show.
So he just stuck it out?
Actually, he ended up stepping down as producer.
Wait, what? He walked away from his own creation.
Yeah, it was a tough time for him and the show.
Wow, I can imagine.
But the third season, it did air, despite all the challenges.
It's good. At least they got to finish it out.
Yeah, but sadly, that was the end of the original series run, at least for new episodes.
So that was it. The end of Star Trek.
Not even close. In fact, you could say that's when things really started to take off.
Huh. How's that? It got canceled, the creator left. What more could happen?
Well, sometimes endings are just beginnings in disguise, and for Star Trek, this was definitely the case.
Okay. I'm intrigued. But how did it go from canceled show to, global phenomenon?
The answer is syndication.
Syndication, like reruns.
Exactly. Paramount, who owned the show, they started selling the rights for reruns to different channels. And it was genius. By the late 70s, Star Trek was everywhere, beaming into homes across America and even internationally.
Ah, see. So it found a new life, a wider audience.
Exactly. And this time, no network execs could stand in its way.
That's awesome. They couldn't kill it off anymore.
Nope. The fans had spoken, and the demand for Star Trek, it was just too strong to ignore.
Talk about poetic justice. So did this renewed interest lead to, more Star Trek?
It sure did. First came an animated series, which actually won the franchise its first Emmy Award.
Whoa, an Emmy. That's a big deal. So they were back in the game.
Oh, yeah, and there were even plans for a new live-action series called Star Trek, Phase 2.
Phase 2. I don't remember that one. Did it ever happen?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. You see, around that same time, Star Wars came out.
Oh, yeah, Star Wars. That was huge.
It was a game changer for science fiction, Suddenly, studios saw the potential for big-budget space epics on the big screen.
I see. So Star Wars kind of forced Star Trek to evolve.
You could say that. Paramount, they saw what was happening, and they scrapped Phase 2.
Just like that. What happened to the new series?
Well, they took that pilot episode they had for Phase 2 and turned it into a movie.
A movie? Really?
Yeah, Star Trek. The motion picture, they called it.
Oh, wow. So that's how they made the jump to the big screen.
Exactly. It was a big, ambitious film, but maybe not the smash hit they'd hoped for.
I've heard it's a bit slow, even for diehard Trekkies, right?
Haha. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
But it didn't kill the movie idea, right?
Thankfully, no. Because then came Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Ah, Khan. Now that's a classic.
Right. Action, drama, a fantastic villain. I mean, Carter Montalban, just incredible.
Yeah, he really stole the show. So Wrath of Khan, that was a hit, right?
Big time. It proved that Star Trek could work on the big screen and led to a bunch of successful sequels.
That makes sense. Okay, so movies were taking off, but what about TV? When did Star Trek return to the small screen?
Well, 1987 was a big year for Trekkies.
Oh, what was that?
That's when Star Trek The Next Generation premiered.
The Next Generation, yeah, that was huge. Picard, Riker, Data, all those guys.
Exactly. And this time, they did things differently.
How so?
No network interference. They went straight to syndication, airing on all these local channels across the country.
Oh, smart move. They learned their lesson from the original series.
They did, and it paid off big time.
Yeah, The Next Generation, that was the most watched Star Trek series ever.
Yeah, it was 7 glorious seasons. It really reignited the whole franchise.
And it opened the floodgates for even more shows.
You bet. Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise.
Yeah.
Suddenly it was the 90s and Star Trek was everywhere again.
A whole TV empire all built on a show that almost got canceled. That's incredible.
It's amazing, right? And what's even more remarkable is how each of these series, they found their own voice,
Like, what do you mean?
Well, Deep Space Nine, it got darker, more serialized, a different feel from The Next Generation.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine was definitely a bit more gritty.
And then Voyager, that was all about exploration, survival, being stranded on the other side of the galaxy.
Right. And Enterprise, that took us back to the very beginning, before Kirk and Spock.
Exactly. So they managed to appeal to all these different tastes, but still stayed true to that core Star Trek spirit.
It's impressive, really. They kept it fresh while honoring the legacy.
And let's be real, not every episode or film has been a masterpiece, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, there have been some duds along the way.
Even hardcore fans have their favorites and the ones they maybe skip over.
Definitely. But I guess even those, they contribute to the tapestry of this vast universe, right?
They do, and that's the beauty of it, this constant evolution, always trying new things, exploring new ideas.
Okay, so where does this leave us as we head into the 2000s? We've got this massive franchise, multiple TV shows, successful film series. What's next for Star Trek?
Well, the 2000s kind of marked a turning point,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Enterprise wrapped up, then we had the Nemesis film.
Right, it felt like things were winding down a bit.
Yeah, like maybe Star Trek needed a little break,
Yeah.
recharge the warp cores or something.
Haha, exactly. But instead of fading away, the franchise did what it always does.
What's that?
It adapted, evolved,
Okay, I'm listening.
And in 2009, bam, it took this huge leap with that J.J. Abrams reboot.
Yeah, the reboot. That was a bold move, right? A whole new timeline, new actors playing Kirk and Spock.
It was risky, for sure.
I'll admit, I was skeptical at first. I mean, messing with the original,
I get it. A lot of fans were.
But those films, gotta say, they were a lot of fun.
They were. They had that energy, that sense of adventure.
Yeah, they captured that classic Star Trek spirit,
Oh.
the optimism, the belief in humanity.
Right. But it still felt fresh, exciting, a new generation discovering Star Trek.
For sure. And it paved the way for all these new shows we're seeing now.
Exactly. Discovery, Picard, even Lower Decks, the animated comedy.
Oh, and Strange New Worlds, right. Taking us back to Captain Pike before Kirk.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of wild to see how Star Trek is thriving now, maybe even more than back in the 90s.
It's true. It's everywhere these days.
Roddenberry's vision, that dream of a hopeful future, it's still resonating with people,
Yeah, I think you're right. Especially now, when things feel a bit uncertain in the real world, it's nice to escape into that kind of optimism.
It's comforting, right? This idea that we can overcome our challenges and build a better future.
I think that's what sets Star Trek apart from a lot of other sci-fi. It's not all doom and gloom.
It's not about dystopia. It's about humanity becoming better, evolving.
Right, and not just with technology, but as people, as a society.
It's a powerful message, and it's found new ways to reach people thanks to how we consume media these days.
Yeah, true. I mean, remember when we had to wait a whole week for a new episode?
And then rush to the store to buy it on VHS.
Oh, man, those were the days.
Now it's all streaming, entire seasons at our fingertips.
I can binge watch Deep Space Nine and then jump over to Discovery all in one weekend.
It's a whole different experience, right? We can revisit favorite episodes, explore fan productions, all at our own pace.
It's a Trek fan's dream come true.
And with the Star Trek universe constantly expanding, there's always something new to discover.
That's for sure. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. The history, the impact, the evolution of Star Trek. Where does that leave our listener?
Well, I think the takeaway is that Star Trek, it's more than just a franchise, It's an invitation.
An invitation to what?
An invitation to engage with these big ideas, to explore different perspectives, to imagine the future we want to build.
Not just to boldly go into space, but to boldly go into new ways of thinking, new ways of being.
Exactly. So as we wrap up, we leave you with this question to ponder. How does Star Trek's vision of the future compare to other science fiction you've encountered?
That's a great question, something to really think about.
Does it feel more optimistic, more hopeful? Does that resonate with you, or are there other visions you find more compelling?
It's definitely worth exploring. What does Star Trek mean to you, our listener? What kind of future do you want to see, and how can we use these stories as inspiration to get there?
Remember, no matter what challenges we face, we can always strive for those core values that Star Trek embodies: compassion, curiosity, a belief in the boundless potential of humanity.
Yeah, that's a good message to end on, I think.
Live long and prosper, everyone. And may your deep dive into Star Trek be filled with wonder and discovery. So the 2000s, it was a bit of a crossroads for Star Trek,
It did feel like things were maybe slowing down,
Yeah.
Like after Enterprise ended, the Nemesis film.
Right, like maybe it was time for a pause,
Yeah, like maybe let the whole thing rest for a bit, recharge, I don't know.
But instead of fading away, Star Trek did what it always seems to do.
What's that?
It adapted, reinvented itself even.
And how did it do that?
Well, in 2009, they took a pretty big gamble, I'd say, with that J.J. Abrams reboot.
Oh, yeah, the reboot, right? With Chris Pine as Kirk and all that.
Exactly. A whole alternate timeline, new actors for those iconic characters.
It was a bold move, I'll give them that.
For sure. A lot of fans, myself included, were like, whoa, are they messing with the original?
I get it. Like, don't mess with the classics.
Exactly. But you gotta admit, those films, they were a lot of fun.
They were. They had that energy, that sense of, I don't know, adventure.
Right. And they didn't shy away from the action either.
True. But they still, like, captured the spirit of Star Trek,
Yeah.
That optimism, the belief in humanity.
Right. They managed to balance that classic feel with a more modern, blockbuster vibe.
And it worked. I mean, it brought in a whole new generation of fans.
Totally. And you could argue that it paved the way for this wave of new shows we're seeing now.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like Discovery, Picard, even the animated Lower Decks.
And don't forget, Strange New Worlds, taking us back to Captain Pike and the Enterprise before Kirk took command.
That's right. It's kind of amazing to see how much Star Trek is thriving now, maybe even more than back in the 90s.
It's true. It's like it's found new life, new energy.
I think a lot of that has to do with Roddenberry's vision. That dream of a hopeful future, it still resonates with people, especially now.
I think you're right, especially when things in the real world feel so, I don't know, uncertain.
It's comforting, isn't it? To escape into that kind of optimism, that belief that we can overcome our challenges.
Yeah, it's like a breath of fresh air,
And I think that's what sets Star Trek apart from so much other science fiction out there. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not about dystopia.
It's about humanity becoming better, evolving, reaching for something more.
Right. And not just technologically, but, as people, as a society.
It's about striving for a future where we've outgrown our worst instincts, where we value things like compassion, understanding, exploration.
It's a powerful message, and it's found all these new ways to reach people thanks to how we consume media these days.
That's true. I mean, remember when you had to wait a whole week for a new episode?
And then rush to the store to buy it on VHS.
Yeah, those were the days.
Now it's all streaming, We have entire seasons at our fingertips.
Crazy, right? I can binge Deep Space Nine one day, then jump over to Discovery the next.
It's a whole new world for Trek fans.
It is, and it makes it so much easier to, revisit old favorites, explore new shows, dive into fan productions, all at our own pace.
It's like a never-ending voyage of discovery.
That's a great way to put it.
So where does that leave us, our listener, after this deep dive? We've covered a lot, the history, the highs and lows, the impact on culture, the sheer amount of Star Trek out there.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but what's the takeaway, What do we want our listeners to walk away with?
I think it's this. Star Trek is more than just a franchise, more than just entertainment.
Okay, what do you mean?
It's an invitation, a challenge even.
An invitation to what?
To engage with these big ideas, to explore different perspectives, to imagine the kind of future we want to build.
Not just to boldly go into space, but to boldly go into new ways of thinking, new ways of being.
Exactly. So as we wrap up here, we want to leave you with this thought. How does Star Trek's vision of the future compare to other science fiction you've encountered?
That's a good question. I've never really thought about it that way.
Does it feel more optimistic, more hopeful? Does that resonate with you? Or do other visions maybe feel more, realistic or compelling?
It's something to consider for sure.
And what does Star Trek mean to you, our listener? What kind of future do you want to see?
And how can we use these stories, these characters, these ideas as inspiration to get there?
Remember, no matter what challenges we face, we can always strive for those core values that Star Trek embodies. Compassion, curiosity, a belief in the boundless potential of humanity.
That's a good message to end on, I think.
Live long and prosper, everyone. And may your deep dive into Star Trek be filled with wonder and discovery.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.